AMC is really good at catfishing you when it comes to these screen unseens. This mystery movie tonight was a horror movie. A lot of people were speculating it was going to be together. I should have known better, but you know, they have been hit or miss. Sometimes they'll give you a big release, sometimes it'll be a small release. What made it feel like this was going to be together is one that together is going to have a early access this week on Wednesday. So usually they'll have like an early access, and on top of that they'll have the screen unseen or whatever movie. But that's usually rare in some cases. But the run times and stuff matched up. The things that I did not account for is the fact that Pete Davidson's movie, The Home, comes out this weekend as well. And I was like, shit. Once I saw the Together trailer play, I was like, oh, damn, it's not together. So you're going to have to wait for that review. But I'm here to talk about The Home, starring Pete Davidson. And man, I was so tempted to walk the fuck out before watching this movie. But I was like, I'm already here. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what this movie is going to be all about. And this is pretty much following Pete Davidson's character, Max. He's dealing with a lot of stuff, like you see the movie open up with his backstory and how he lost his brother. And he's just been getting kind of in and out of trouble ever since, now just him being an adult. So he gets this like one last shot kind of opportunity to go work at this old folks home. It's very similar to the movie that came out earlier this year, The Rule of Jenny Penn, but it actually has acting in that. I didn't like that movie, but it's kind of like the same kind of setting, but you just kind of plop Pete Davidson in this old folks home. And bro, I just gotta get into this because this movie is not good. I will say though, the ending is probably the biggest highlight of the movie. Everything else is just like kind of like a snooze fest. You're just watching Pete Davidson attempting to act, which he cannot act to save his life, and this movie shows you that. And that's really difficult to watch this movie, where you could have easily put like an unknown in this role. It'd have been 10 times better. Just somebody that's going to evoke some type of reaction when something's happening on screen. It's just Pete Davidson had none of that. He had no range, no type of like personality whatsoever, not even a little bit of humor. There was like little bits of dialogue here that was supposed to be funny, but just you could tell by the audience reaction they weren't really feeling it. Like I said, there are some gory moments, but this movie is like 90% ass though. It's just so fucking slow. You're trying to figure out, all right, what's going on with this home. There's something weird going on. Constantly asking questions until like last moment. This movie did not need to be an hour and like 41 minutes. This could have been like an hour and 20, and I would have probably liked it a little bit more. I didn't, like I said, for a good hour and a half of this movie, it's just like, bro, where is this movie going? The dialogue is just very sluggish. It's the pacing is just terrible. I'm bored out of my mind. This feels like a 2-hour movie, and it shouldn't even feel like that. And it's just, I don't know, man. I feel like with all these horror movies that are set in old folks' home are just like a lot of missed opportunities. There's some creepy moments here that are just mild, but it's just they never really hit the mark. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the only highlight I could say is the ending. I don't want to spoil that, but I'm really tempted to, but I want you to kind of see it for yourself, because once you see it, you're like, damn, bro, why couldn't the whole movie feel like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like the fastest thing that ever happened in the entire movie, and then it just took so long to get there. It took way too long to get there, and you get certain reveals, and a lot of this movie is just very predictable. You see it from a mile away. there are some things that will make your eyes literally quench, and just kind of you will definitely feel a little bit squeamish if you don't like eyeball horror. There's a lot of eyeball. Yeah, that shit is fucking nasty. Other than that, yeah, I don't need to watch this movie ever again. I recommend checking it out for yourself, but maybe you don't want to check this out in theaters. This probably be in on streaming in like 2 weeks, probably less. But man, I don't ever need to see Pete Davidson ever lead in a movie again. That's just me, to be honest. But if you get around to checking this out, let me know how you guys feel about it, and let me know what you thought about the ending, because obviously that's the only like highlight of the movie. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next one though. Peace.